Now, it was at least 2 hours of terror for those taken hostage inside the Gurudwara during the morning prayers. Let's take a look at the police operation and how they finally managed to put down the gunman.
Heavily armed police surrounded a Sikh temple in Oak Creek, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A man was thought to be inside, targeting worshippers during a Sunday event. An officer with 20 years on the force confronted a gunman outside the temple. Shooting broke out.
He engaged an active shooter. That officer was shot multiple times. He has been transported to a local hospital. He is expected to survive. That officer returned fire and that shooter was put down. That shooter is currently outside of the temple. He is down on the scene.
Police begged the media not to reveal too many details in case coverage made things worse. At the time, rumors spread quickly. There was talk of a second gunman, multiple victims, and even children held hostage.
We were just like 10 minutes, 15 minutes late, you know. Otherwise, my kid will be there on a beautiful Sunday morning. The absolute last thing you expect is that a place of peace and love and spiritual worship would be torn to shreds by gun violence.
In the end, it turned out there was only one gunman working alone. The shooting in Milwaukee comes just over 2 weeks after one in Aurora, Colorado, in which 12 people died and 58 were injured. It's too early to say why a Sikh temple was targeted, but calls for increased gun control have gone largely ignored by the two candidates running for the White House in November. The issue of gun ownership in the United States is considered to be one of the third rails of American politics. No one wants to touch it, especially not in an election year. John Terrett, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Of course, it's a very significant issue also at the last moment. The American politics obviously doesn't know how to deal with the situation. Joining us now is Seema Sirohi, senior journalist with firstpost.com from Washington. Seema, just take us through exactly what the situation is now. Are things finally under control? Do we have more details?
Right now, they had a press conference where they said 6 people are dead, and then the guy who shot at the crowd, he has been killed by the police, and 3 people are injured and they are currently in hospital, so they are under observation, including one police officer who the shooter attacked.
Seema, just the bigger fear here in India is this part of any sort of a race attack? Because, this sort of an attack would spur even more such duplicate crimes. How are the officers actually looking at that aspect?
It's right now the officials are not saying anything, but the way I look at it is it's a very particular attack. The gunman went to a Sikh Gurudwara. He chose a particular community to attack. So, to my mind, it does look like hate crime. Sikhs have come under attack since 9/11 repeatedly, and they've been fighting back. They have faced racial profiling at American airports, more than some other communities. So I would say points to that.
Okay, and what about the identity of the attackers? Because that is very significant to establish really what could have been the motive behind this attack.
No, the police are not saying anything about the criminal investigation, but they have announced that they're treating this incident as a case of domestic terrorism, and the FBI is going to be in charge of leading the criminal investigation. So they're taking it very seriously, and they said that by tomorrow they will have some more information. The identity of the gunman is not known yet.